Good afternoon, my friends. This is Krebs here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to play the Beaufighter in a different manner, depending what a different manner means to you. Maybe you've been playing the Beaufighter as I'm going to be showing you guys, but anyway, the reason why I'm making this video is just because I felt like it. Why not? I wanted to make a video about the Beaufighter and a different capacity in which you can play it, because I notice in a lot of games nobody uses it in this way. So Krebs, tell us what this capacity is. We are yearning to find out what it is. The capacity in which I'm using it is a defensive one. I am almost strictly going to be going for bombers, and I'm also going to be trying to generally defend, not being offensive, because a lot of times I'll notice when I'm going out into tier 6 games or whatever, just general games, I'll notice Beaufighters will be fighting on the offensive. They'll be trying to dogfight. What the hell are you doing? Trying to dogfight, spearheading way too far for their good, and generally they get killed rather quickly. So I was thinking to myself, well, since this thing is essentially a big boat, it has the maneuverability of a boat. As soon as it gets momentum, it keeps that momentum, and then it's so hard to turn, as you can see in front of your screen right now. So in order to compensate for that, which you shouldn't really be using in a turn fighting style battle, because you'll just lose, then you should try to be a bit defensive. I mean, the great thing about the Beaufighter is that it gets great speed potentials. It's easy to climb, it's easy to maintain a fast speed, it has 4 hispano cannons on it, so everything to me, personally, it actually screams of bomber killer. Bomber killer, bomber killer, bomber killer, because a lot of times when you're trying to take on bombers in lighter fighter, you're gonna get downed, especially in this new patch, because you just die easier now. You're gonna get downed if you're in a lighter fighter against a bomber, okay? And generally speaking, the Beaufighter has a much better ability at staying alive. It's just a heavy fighter, and so, you know, again, another reason why it should take on bombers. Rips them apart, easier to survive. I'm being tailed by a lag at the moment, and in previous videos people have said, Krebs, don't even bother with changing to your back gunner, because you'll be absolutely fine using the AI to control it. You know what? I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Yes and no. Yes, if the opponent is directly behind you and within about 300 meters and you're chasing after somebody else, then yeah, fair enough. I like the AI gunner. But to be honest, whenever your opponent is coming at you from the side, or if they have a bit of distance, more than 300 meters or so, I just usually change back to my gunner, and then I'll take him out, like I did just there. I set the guy on fire. Kind of funny thing in this new patch, you can set people on fire so easily with back gunners. And that's what happened to that guy, and that's why I generally like to use the back gunner, unless the enemy is literally right behind me, and then I just don't even bother, because usually my AI can do that. And just from my own experience coming up behind an enemy fighter, if you're a close enemy bomber or enemy attacker, anything with a turret, if you're close to them, they're probably going to be able to down you. Anyway, so don't mind the torpedoes I've got loaded out. If you go out with a torpedo on a non-ship or a non-water based map, then you're a boss. Yep, torpedoes are for bosses. No real reason why I'm actually carrying the torpedoes. Just too lazy to change it. I know I could easily go into the tab and select to have rockets, or sorry, just no torpedoes. But yeah, just laziness has conquered. Laziness has taken over Krebs, and so instead I'm just got torpedoes, and I'm dropping them occasionally. I'm keeping them on when I'm heading in a straight line, but whenever I'm having to make a climb or whenever I'm battling somebody, I'll just generally get rid of it because I don't need it. But another great thing is the torpedo on the Beaufighter can be very useful on water-based maps. So, for example, Two Towns is a great one. Two Towns is a great map, actually, because a lot of times, not necessarily in the beginning, you have a good opportunity to take on destroy destroyers. Destroy destroyers. Seems a bit repetitive. But usually, say for example in 2 towns, if you're gonna be in a bullfighter, yeah, you can still play this defensive sort of playstyle. But what you'll do is you'll wait for the enemy boats to come towards you, because initially in the beginning of 2 towns, what will happen is that your boats and their boats, ships, will be far away from each other, and then as the game progresses, they'll get nearer and nearer each other. Towards the end of the game, that is when you should start taking your opportunity to torpedo some ships, because if you're doing that in the beginning, you're going to be close to the enemy base, there's going to be a lot of enemies around there, and you're just probably going to die. So wait until the game is dragged out a little bit, then use that opportunity. Anyway, so generally playing quite defensive over here. As you can see, I've almost never, actually I think never in this match, have I gone across that river into the enemy side. Oh dear. I was actually wondering if that chassis was going to crash into me, and lo and behold, that's actually what happened. God damn it. It's not even the enemy fighters that are killing me, it's their bodies that's left behind that's destroying me. So, surprisingly, I don't even know if it looked like it touched me there. Maybe that was a hitbox or something. But okay, fair enough. Apparently it damaged me severely and I'm going down. Thinking maybe I can get landing, but yeah, that angle that I was coming in, that was a perfect angle for a landing. More so a crash. And that was me getting owned by the chassis of a dead opponent. Loading out my next Beaufighter over here. Again, torpedo, just laziness. Somebody's asking, do pillboxes disappear? And I just gave him the best answer you could probably get if you destroy them. Why not? Just add a little bit of humor, you know. I mean, it's just sort of obvious, you know. You destroy a pillbox and it disappears. Do pillboxes destroy themselves? Well, no. Why would they destroy themselves? How are they going to destroy themselves? Silly questions. Silly questions get silly answers. That's what I like to say. Silly questions, silly answers. Anyway, so a lot of times when I'm going out into engagements, I'll actually pick my targets, especially when I'm playing on the defensive of a bullfighter. As I was saying, I like to go for bombers rather than normal fighters, because fighters, they'll have speed with them, they'll have maneuverability, and they'll be able to outturn you. And so, yeah, fair enough, you can come down at them with, you know, 600 kilometers an hour, but you're not going to be able to get a good shot on them because they're going to be able to outturn you. So that's why I go for fighters. I'll locate them, such as this SB2M over here. I see that he wants to get some kills on some ground targets, and he's just generally trying to avoid me, going straight on down. Not going to stop me at all. Going to tear him to shreds. That is a big fire that he's got going on. And generally speaking, I sometimes find it quite difficult to tell the difference between an engine fire, like a proper fire that's going to kill them eventually, or if it's like an incendiary round. And the only thing that I can really tell the difference is incendiary effects on a plane will generally last not that long. They'll extinguish themselves. Whilst more critical damage, like engine damage, oil tanks, whatever, when you set them properly on fire, they'll last longer, and sometimes they'll be in multiple areas. So for example, if you set somebody's their engines on fire, or if you set their wings on fire in multiple places, chances are that is going to be a critical damage. They're going to be going down for a long period. Like that one over there, that Ju-88. To me, that looks like a critical damage because he is pouring of fire and smoke. He is pouring of fire and smoke. It's not something that just extinguishes within a few moments. And that's the only general way that I can really find a big difference between them. If you guys can actually find a difference, then let me know. I'd be curious to know. I'd like to find out these things. Anyway, enemy Beaufighter on the all the way over there, but he's flying at an angle and actually flying away from me now, so can't actually catch up to him. There's some other tempting targets out in the sky, like the TBF, dropping my torpedo because I'm climbing on up into the sky. No point in actually keeping that extra weight on myself. AR2 just above me, but 140 and slowing down kilometers per hour. I'm not going to be able to get on up there. I'm just going to be beginning to stall. As you can see here, I can't maintain going on up. And at this rate, it becomes a bit frustrating because usually you'd be faster than an AR2 and you'd be able to catch up to them easily. But because I had to make such a sharp altitude gain, I lost a lot of speed, and now I have to gain it again, and I still need to make more altitude gain. So yeah, it's frustrating. AR2, again, he's got an elevation advantage, and now he's diving, gaining a lot more speed than I have, and flying away from me. Nothing you can do about that, nothing you can do, so I'm just looking around myself. Is there anyone else I can go for? Because this guy is flying away from me. I see a TBF down there, another great target to go for, another bomber. But I see that there's two opponents around him. May as well go for this AR2. He's far below me now. I'm going to have a speed advantage to get on top of him. And it looks like he's going to be going to try to bomb our airfield, and most importantly probably try to kill the guys who are landing on our airfield. So AR2, you're on up. It's your lucky day. You're going to be dying any moment now. Here we go. And what is that behind him? I can't even see that. I think that's the HE-112 that was trying to kill him. Yeah, it was. You know, props to the HE-112. Because he's trying to catch up to a plane at high speeds. And we all know at 300 or so kilometers per hour, the HE-112 just locks up. So props to you, man. You daredevil, you. I don't know what to say. Why the hell not? You daredevil, you. Props to you. I don't know if anyone can actually fly the HE-112. I've got respect to them because I think that's probably the worst plane in the game. I mean, you guys know what it's like. There's no point in me talking about the HE-112 in the Beaufighter video. Why would I do that? Maybe I'll do it in a separate video. But it locks up. That's what we can say about it. Here we go. Donier out on next target over here. You'll notice that I've actually looked at the tabs, so the leaderboards, to see which Donier it is, because you actually get different Doniers. You get Doniers that are essentially heavy fighters, and then you get Doniers which are bombers. Some of the heavy fighters can actually get bombs on them. So generally speaking, I just want to see which one it is, because bombers aren't as much of a threat, whereas the Doniers with the, what is it, the MG151s, the 151 cannons, I think it is. I don't think it's the FF cannons. I think it's the 151s. They can be a bit lethal to take on, and you should never take on a Donier in a head-on-head engagement, no matter what the plane. It's like the same rule as a Beaufighter. Never take on a Beaufighter head-on-head, because you're probably just gonna die. So, you know, all these little things make a big difference. We still got 19 ground targets. They only have 2, and I think that's a testimony. Well, look at that. Look at those smooth moves. I think that's a testimony of just doing some successful bomber hunting. In fact, almost all the time now. Wow, that guy got owned. Almost all the time now when I go out in Beaufighters, I just use them defensively. I will go out there and kill bombers. And the funny thing is, I don't... I suppose it's another annoying thing. Like, you'll get really high kill streaks in the Beaufighter when you play defensively, but you won't get loads and loads of kills. Most of the time, I get loads of kills from playing normal fighters, the more agile ones. Whereas the Beaufighter, it's just because it's not as maneuverable. You're going to be selective with your targets, taking on bombers, and it really just depends how many bombers you've got on opportunity to actually take on. So, generally speaking, I won't get as many kills with the Beaufighter as normal fighters. And I'm coming in for a landing now. But it allows me to get higher kill streaks because I'll usually be in a safer position. People won't usually bother me since I'm playing defensively. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I could keep on going with this badly damaged plane, but unfortunately one engine and damaged parts everywhere wasn't really allowing me to climb up into the air. So, making a little bit of a stylish landing. Why not? Get myself prepared. I think I'm 1 for 8 at the moment. think you'll probably see soon. Giant torpedo still stuck to me at the bottom. There we go, landing. Gonna get myself repaired on up. Come on, Krebs, let's look at the leaderboard. I think I'm gonna do it sometime soon here. There we go. Yeah, 1 for 8. Happy days. Happy days. So I expect you guys, I suppose the take-home message is, Krebs expects to see more bullfighters playing defensively. Honestly, they're one of the best planes you can fly defensively with. You'll wreck so many bombers and so many attackers if you fly differently with this. Don't be one of those sheep, the sheeple, that like to go out spearhead into the enemy and expect to come out alive. Not gonna happen. So anyway guys, this is Krebs and I will catch you all later.
Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.